live yet?
Not yet. Like in 2 seconds, it will be. And there we go. We're live. Good evening, everyone. So we're trying. Yeah, so we're live and we're starting a new show tonight with it's not Mary Lee and Scott anymore. This is Jacob and I'm Scott. Like usual, we're just doing a new show.
Inscriber Mag, is that right?
Yeah, sir.
Inscriber Mag Radio. I'm Jacob Christen, the pundit's pundit. I'm on from Sideline Sports. I'm heading over for this, and then I got asked I got asked a couple nights ago if we want to do another show, and I'm like, let's make this a pilot and see what's going on.
Good plan. Like and like I'm down for whatever. It's like I'm always down to do like a show with anyone at any time, practically, as long as I got free time.
Well, I always said, here's my secret of everything. This is what I was saying. My dad always trained me, like when it comes to with the women, he would say, let them come to you. Well, I kind of took that to another complete level and just let everything come to me. So it's like I just do my own shows. I just let people ask. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've had that too. It's like one of my first shows I did, like people were like, "Do you want to do a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Exactly. So we have a good show tonight here, especially some Buffalo news, and also we already know about LIV and PGA.
Yeah, it's kind of big news. I mean, it's interesting. So it's basically Saudi money, but just the PGA name. So that's how I've heard it.
Well, yeah, see, this is the big thing. I had 3 shows on Pundit's Pundit on this, 3 shows. And we talked about this, and I was saying LIV is going to change. You saw me when we did our chats. I said LIV is going to change. I saw the merger. I said they're going to change things. I said it was going to change things up, and it did. And the main thing I tried to get people to understand is that there's so much hate about it because of Trump, because Trump is involved in LIV.
Yeah. So I mean, I get why he was part of the LIV. I mean, especially when after the PGA canceled his Doral tournament, and didn't he cancel another one?
Yeah, but it's like the LIV just took took over those tournaments. But the big thing about it is they did it because they hate him, and then because they all want to say, oh, because of Saudi, it's because of Khashoggi and because of just because of blood money and whatever, and 9/11. It's like, where did you care about this before Trump? Because after about 2002 or 3, people stopped talking about it. PGA's worked with Saudi. People didn't talk about this. All of a sudden, it's evil. That Saudi Arabia is also evil. How many journalists have they killed that we did not hear about? And it's like everything is because of Trump. Everything's because we're going to hate him, and it's not. We got to quit treating him like he's Skeletor.
I mean, he's getting up there in age, so anyway. So I say he's getting up there in age, but that's about it.
Well, no, I'm just saying, but we got to quit treating it like. Well, I mean, it's an '80s. You got to quit treating it like it's an '80s cartoon, like a cartoon villain. It's like he's an arrogant, narcissist, jerk, but he's human, and you got to be able to see everything. And we have to go based off of these little details. And every time you try to go get him by hating him, he's going to win every single time.
So yeah, I mean, I'm curious what's going to happen if the format for the PGA is going to change. Like, isn't like 3 rounds instead of 4, no cuts?
They'd already done. They didn't change it. What they did is there's a few 3 rounds and no cut done to be able to try to keep up with LIV. They had a few extra tournaments, and there's some 3 round and no cut ones. So they've already got that. But the main thing about it, the reason that this happened is because Saudi Arabia has all the money to lose. They don't care. They don't care. Yeah. They have all the money to lose. PGA was draining money. Got to remember, all these people, all these players now, there are a certain amount of tournaments where everybody gets paid. There is no cut. That's number 1. Number 2, you got 54 rounds. You got the 54 round ones because of all that thing. Number 3, there's higher stakes. And in the midst of it, they're on the LIV's on a crappy network like CW. They're just losing money, but they have money to keep building back. PGA's going to keep draining it. They had to do it.
Yeah, I'd like to see I'd love to see the purses go up more and then get more people involved and like it gets the younger generation to watch maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's the thing is though, it's like LIV wasn't going to get LIV. I wasn't saying they were going to beat, and I never said they were going to beat the PGA Tour. PGA has 50 years on them. What I said though is it was going to change things because the average age of a PGA watcher is 68 years old. It's 68 years old. That was but the thing before LIV came around. You get something like this, your 54 holes is better for the younger generation to watch. Tournament, I mean, team play is better for the kids to watch. I mean, every bit like that. Watching 4 people go walk holes, like the 16th through the 18th hole, that it's just true for that age. 68-year-olds, see, it's even tough on 68-year-olds because they're sleeping.
Well, that's how 60 Minutes gets all the ratings.
Yeah, exactly, because they're waking up to 60 Minutes.
Well, they're still sleeping.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like they're just. But you got to remember, golf is Jim Nantz. We are the 16th hole, 142 yards with a 4-iron. You know, that kind of stuff. That's what that is. You think you can get a kid? You think you can get a younger generation to go with that? But you get LIV, and I'm not saying that's going to happen right off the bat, but you've got music in the background. You've got music in the background. You've got noise going on. You can be able to, all that kind of stuff. Things are a little different. And it's like, you can't just have the quiet little tradition anymore. You can't. As much as I like it personally myself, and I'm thinking of my nephew who's 15 years old. He's not going to watch that stuff all the time. Not like that.
Yeah, if they get a music deal, it'd be the contract with musicians would be great.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I love about it, though. It's what I love about the idea. I'm not saying you're in love with LIV. I love the idea there's something new because golf does need changing, just like baseball needed changing this year. It needed some of the rules changes.
You think baseball did enough? I mean, just while we were talking about it quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. I mean, the big thing about it is there's more stolen bases right now. And then the pitch, you got to realize we got about the pitch clock.
That pace of the game is definitely faster.
Yeah, well, you got that pitch clock. You got to realize someone like Maddox didn't need a pitch clock because he got it off in 4 seconds anyway. It's all of this pitch clock is because all these pitchers decide they wanted to take 5 minutes to look at a pitch.
Yeah, and it's like you said, Max would just get in there like in 4 seconds and be done.
Yeah, it's
so many land games would be like.
I mean, he got done in an inning in 90 seconds. Maddox would. We don't see that anymore.
Yeah, it's like they're overthinking everything. Max would just paint the entire strike zone and just kill everyone.
Well, we overthink everything. It's like why is there not less? Why is there less complete games? Much less complete games. Because they'll say, oh, you might get hurt after 100 pitches, but then we used to go 150 and go back 4 games later.
If not sooner.
Yeah. And why? It's like you're overthinking it. As a trainer, you're overthinking it. Sometimes you are hurting the arms, you're bubble wrapping. It's every single time a mom is overcompensates or a mom overprotects their kid and then they get oversick. Sometimes you got to just let the kid fall.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, because I know like my youngest nephew, he has I think the pinch like for like 13-year-olds is like 80.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you I don't like, I mean, I support it, but I'd say like let the pitcher, like the guy at least at least the kid finish the inning.
Yeah. Oh,
it's like no matter what.
Oh, I'll train the kids. If I game coach, I'm going to train the kids to. They're going to have 2 pitches. If they're under 15 years old, they're going to have 2 pitches: a change up and a fastball. I ain't going to let them do anything where their arm's not ready, and they're going to learn location.
That's what they should be doing. It's all they should be learning. I mean, because like you said, to damage the arms. Like, can I see kids throw curveballs? It's like you're going to have Tommy John surgery by the time you're 17.
Oh, I heard a 20-year-old kid. He was a Korean kid from Vanderbilt or something. I forget, or George Mason or something. He was getting a Tommy John surgery. He's 20 years old. He died on the table.
That shouldn't kill you.
Huh?
I said, and that shouldn't be anyway. Sort of try to kill you. He's like just got an infection. Must have been.
Well, yeah, and it's like sometimes they've been saying sometimes the Tommy John is elective because they want to be able to throw faster. Which I'm a Kyle, even though Kyle Hendricks is struggling right now, I'm a Kyle Hendricks type. I like location. I like 84 location, and if you're on, you got two pitches and out. I mean, that'll give you, if you're on, that'll give you the complete game.
Oh God, yeah, it's like, and you still do damage, but it's minimal because most of the damage is rotational.
Yeah. Did you play baseball?
Till I was like 13.
Yeah, same. I my main thing is I could hit, but just fastballs, and that's all they threw back in the time when I was. Once I got to seventh grade, and they were throwing a changeup, I was dead.
Yeah, I was the catcher. My friend clocked me in the head with a bat, and yeah, that kind of ended my career.
Yeah. Well, I pitched one time in my life. I was in fifth grade. One of my best years, actually. We were getting our butt kicked in that game, though, like the first place team. And so they threw me out there. Struck out the very first guy because he was the fat guy. He was the fat kid that always swung at everything. So I struck out my first guy. I had all the confidence, and then I walked the next like 6 or 7. That was it.
Like, yeah, I'm good. I was thinking like an outfield or something like that. Like, I played catcher, man. That's the I don't care when it says that's the hardest position in baseball.
I was right fielder, but I wasn't. I was one of the rare ones where the right field. I was put in right field not because you get me out of the way. I was put in right field because I could actually throw people out. I had a good arm.
Sounds like our next topic almost.
Yeah, kidding. But no,
Yeah.
these are the things though. What we're trying to say is you got to have changes. Bringing up the thing with LIV and PGA.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to have changes in this era. It's like every time we keep hearing about, oh my God, blood money. Oh my God, it's Saudis. Oh my God, it's Khashoggi. It's like, for one thing, you didn't care about that before Trump. So I tell them to shut up. And I'm just telling the truth on that. But the biggest thing that I'm bringing up with this is every time we're complaining about it, we are mad as a society that our things that we're used to are changing, and we're
People
down
fear
about
change.
it. Huh?
The people fear change.
Yeah, and it's like, but guess what? You gotta have changes to keep something alive. You just do.
I mean,
it's.
I think people are still pissed off about the 3-point line in the NBA.
Yeah,
And that was implemented when 82.
Yeah, we're gonna be closer to a 4-point thing than going back to where they want it.
I mean, like I said, have they been proposing one or?
No, but I think there's a 4-pointer in the 3-on-3 league. But still, But I'm like,
it's actually fun as hell to watch, like at the Olympics, the 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah, but the biggest issue is you got to have some change. I personally would rather love to see the 80s basketball that I remember, 80s and 90s ball. But I have to remember I'm going to be 45 years old. I still feel young, so I'm going to act young. And if I'm going to act young, I got to have a mindset of that there's younger people watching this. There's a whole generation that just knows 3-pointers. So you can't just change it on them as such until you show them it works.
Yeah.
Or you bored them.
I agree with that one. Absolutely.
What'd you hear about? By the way, I was here. What'd you hear about the cover for Madden?
Well, actually, this guy, right? I don't know if you can see him right there with me. That picture's 5 years old. That Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen was named the cover, and that huge big celebration in Buffalo. Unfortunately, I had to work. I missed it, but like virtually who's who of like Buffalo Bills players showed up. Like all the all-time greats showed up. Apparently, and it was just like a big event. The EA donated $10,000 to Oshai Children's Hospital as well as a result of Josh becoming the cover athlete, which is the big children's hospital in Buffalo.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the hospital that they have. They have the
Josh class.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Like I said, I've met him a few times, and he's fun as hell to watch live.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about that is you remember before he got there just how pitiful the Buffalo was.
I think pitiful would be an improvement, Jake.
Huh?
Me too. I think pitiful would be an improvement.
Well, Well,
I was there for the entire drought. I remember it very, very well.
oh no, I remember when they lost the 4 Super Bowls. So I go farther back than you do.
I'm saying that, I remember that too. I mean, I vividly remember the first. I remember the first Super Bowl. It was no tomorrow. It's like, how can we stop a 35-year-old running back? And I was 8, and I vividly remember that.
I was 6 years old when I got into the thing. I was 1984 when I was 6 years old with that. But yeah, I mean, watching the Bears and everything. See, the reason I'm so irritated with the Bears and I get all that is because I watched the Bears when they were dominant. And I'm talking about dominant regular season. You have your one Super Bowl, but I'm talking about dominant regular season. I was 1984 when I started watching. And I'm not kidding you. From week 6 in 1984 to week 13 of 1987, I didn't see 2 losses in a row.
You believe it?
I mean, that's how dominant they were. You are going home every single day from church, every Sunday, and you're going to see a win.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, absolutely it is.
That's fun as a kid. So I saw that. But no, as far as Buffalo, I did not see Josh Allen because Josh Allen had not thrown 60% in any. I did not see this because he had not thrown 60% in any level ever. And this was an era where you got to have 65%. And he got coached and he's a really good thrower now.
Yeah, I think they just saw something in him they really like. I think his IQ is like, I think what happened was like, I think they were set on Rosen, to be totally honest with you, till they saw like some interviews from like former UCLA players, like really soured them.
Well, another thing too. Well, Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen's a tennis player that picked up a football one day and said, "Oh, I can do this. This makes more money."
Yeah, I agree. It's like those players, like the kids that like play multiple sports and like, hey, I play the sport because it's more money. Like, right, exactly.
And here's the thing, Josh, we had to say this about Josh Rosen. He's a bust in the NFL, but he made the NFL.
Yes. And he was a top 10 draft pick in the NFL.
Yeah. And he made the NFL and he threw touchdowns in the NFL. He's a way better athlete than we'll ever be. And like I said,
yeah, like
go ahead.
But he's not an NFL quarterback. I mean, yeah, he made the NFL, but he played in the NFL, but he's not an NFL star, I'll say.
Right. Well, see, there's different levels of quarterback. Like I liked Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago. I liked him. Not to say that he's a Hall of Famer. I'll never in my life say he's a Hall of Famer. That would make me an idiot. He's not a Hall of Famer. But here's the thing. He's part of a cog of, put of a run game. He made nice plays and he didn't lose games for people. He didn't lose games for that team. They averaged 10 wins a year when he was playing. And the biggest thing about it is now you're looking for your star and you win 5 games with him in 2 years. Now you're irritating me because I want to win.
Yeah, it's a team game.
Yeah, but we're in a world. This is another part of change. We're in a world where they're looking for the football version of the Swifties.
Yeah, it's a stats-driven league now, according to fans, which it's not still.
I mean, you should see Bears fans you should see the Bears goobers with Justin Fields. It's like they're 40-year-olds acting like Swifties. They're going to watch him in training camp with diapers on, so they don't have to go to the bathroom. I mean, it's just what they are. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like I like Fields. I mean, God, it's like I think they're gonna turn heads this year. They revamped their defense. They got a receiver core now.
One receiver. The rest of them were not.
I'll take it with what they had.
I'm not. I got one. I'm not. So that was a stupid trade to get you rid of your second. You could have had 2 firsts and 2 seconds if you wouldn't have had, and it wouldn't have made a difference not having Claypool. That was kind of a dumb trade.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I would have never done that trade. That was like if you're in a full rebuild, embrace the rebuild. Just draft.
Let me give the truth on Fields. As a person and as a player, I love the guy. I do. He reminds me of Rocky Balboa. Every time he's playing out, every minute, at the fourth quarter, they can be really close or they can be way behind and he's exhausted. Like he's been beaten down 15 rounds. And I love that he gives it all that minute. You know what I'm saying? Love that. I hate his fans. I hate his Swifties, his version of the Swifties. I hate him with a passion. Then personally, they don't need him. They don't deserve him. They deserve Nathan Peterman.
You think Peterman? Honestly, God, Nate Peterman, I don't totally hate.
Oh, he's horrible. But I'm saying that a lot of these Bears fans deserve him after lying about Trubisky and what they would do, and then continue to play Swifty on Fields, which Fields shouldn't have played his rookie year at all.
I agree with that 100%. Like, I don't think any rookie quarterback should.
He shouldn't played. He shouldn't have played, and now he's digging himself out of a hole he may or may not dig out of because of Nagy. And all these Bears fans wished and prayed for him to play, and it's like, you morons, give yourself time. Let this kid, because he could be coming into this year from a rookie year. Let's just pretend it's a rookie year. As a rookie year last year, he could have come in with 1,000-yard rushing thing. You know what I'm saying? And learning how to throw. Instead, he's got the 1,000 yards, but he digressed in throwing, and he lost more games.
And he's got in his head. And he's got his head. He's got a lot of shit in his head now, for lack of better words. And sorry for the language, but it's accurate.
Well, guess what? He's not over with. He'll be over with the Bears if he has another losing season, but he's not over with to the NFL. You watch him go to Kyle Shanahan or something like that, and they will just revamp his career.
Yeah, like I said, he shows. Yeah, I agree. I think like I said, every rookie, I think quarterback should sit a year.
Yeah. Well, every quarterback.
A few exceptions, but not many.
Even they did, but it's like personally to me, it's like I have a lot of irritation toward the Bears fans for what you treat with Trubisky, which, okay, you're mad because he got the second pick, but okay, they didn't get Mahomes. Do you expect Mahomes to be good with John Fox and Matt Nagy? He'd have been just as bad.
He'd have been out of the league. I can guarantee you that.
He'd been out of the league, and the thing is, Mitch won despite that horrendous thing. He won games.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought honestly, not Trubisky, Mahomes was gonna be a bust in the NFL because for the fact that I didn't think Andy Reid would change his whole mindset. I thought he was gonna have him do the West Coast offense, and I thought if they're running the West Coast offense, the Chiefs are dead in the water.
Watson and Trubisky would be amazing with Andy Reid. Let's just be honest.
Oh God, yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's Andy Reid.
It's Andy Reid. It's like the mindset. It's like Mahomes would have been out of the league with John Fox and Matt Nagy. He just would have.
He would have been out of the league if he was with Sean McDermott.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. And it's like, and the thing is, see, think about Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh. They're trying to say this year he's got that he's going to be a top 5 quarterback. I'm like, you really with Matt Canada? Matt Canada throws a ton of curls and does a lot of sweep plays, and if his offense is on, it usually looks like something from 1991. He has like about 17 points a game, and it's like you're not going to become top 5 like that.
No, and I don't see that at all. I'm happy that Pittsburgh's revamped their line, but that's about it.
They're going to win. They're going to win their games. They'll win 9-11 or 12 with Tomlin because that's what they do. But he kept Matt Canada because he likes consistency. But Canada's not very good.
He's awful. He's like one of the worst offensive corners I've ever seen.
Yeah, look at what happened. Look what happened. Look what happened with Ben, and Ben had to bail himself out all those times because he was a veteran. Then there was blaming of Trubisky because that's what you do because you're on the internet and then everything's a poll. But everything is a poll. But it's like, but then they bring Pickett in, and Pickett throws 6 interceptions in 2 weeks, right off the bat. And then Deontay Johnson does the same crap with the Pickett as he did with Trubisky, and it was the same slow time. And they made a comeback. It was a more exciting comeback to the season with Pickett around.
He's definitely not going to be top 5. God, no.
No. Oh, you're not going to. You're not going to. Here's the thing. Go get, if you want that bad enough, you want top 5, go get Bruce Arians back.
I'm surprised they haven't made it. I'm surprised they haven't reached out to someone like that. Just saying, hey, we need a guy that grooms quarterbacks well.
Oh, Bruce is a genius. Bruce Arians, his last year in the league at 515 points. He's a genius.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, that'd be amazing for Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah,
and he probably would come.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing: it's it wouldn't be a coaching thing anymore. I don't think he wants to coach anymore. I think he liked the idea of just handling one.
Yeah, if you could be the senior, like it's called him the senior offensive assistant, just be basically Kenny Pickett's personal coach. He'd
Oh yeah,
love it.
I mean, Kenny Pickett to me has a lot of gumption. See, that's the thing we're going to talk about. The reason Mitch is not a starter anymore. Mitch just does not have gumption. He's got talent. He doesn't have. It's like that. That eye of the tiger. That's Justin Fields has that.
It's the quote it factor from wrestling.
The what?
The it factor.
Yeah, it's the it factor. It's like has he had comebacks? Yes, he has. Has he made plays? Yes, he has. But there's an it factor that you get when everything's going to the line on the line and stuff like that. Right? I mean, he's got two playoff games, and you know what I'm saying, 2 losses. So it's like even if you have a 300-yard game.
Well, I'm still really old school in the fact that I still think you need to run the ball well and stop the run, and you win a lot more games.
Well, that was that was the last 4 games with the last 4 games in 2020. It was a run. It was basically an RPO. It was an RPO. I'm telling you right now, it was 4 of the greatest Bears offensive games I've ever seen in my life. 33 points a game, and the movement, touchdown, movement. Never seen it in my life. And I've been around 40 some odd years with it. Never seen anything in my life like that. And they had movement, and then here comes Nagy taking the book right back. Like, are you trying to sabotage? Obviously, he was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was gonna ask you how did you become a Bears fan when you live in Georgia?
From Illinois, from Quincy, Illinois, and
that explains that.
well, Quincy, Illinois, and I became a Bears fan because my dad lived in Chicago in 1950 and 51 and did demolition work on some of the buildings. And he would have been 95 this year, my dad would have been. So he was back in 50 and 51, and he was in the same hotel as the Bears during that time. And then any of the Bears that were retiring in 1950, he got to drink and party with them.
That's awesome.
So like Bulldog Turner and anybody that you'd see that's retired that next year, and stuff like that. He got to drink and party with them, and then he drank and partied with the Blackhawks when they were owned by Jim Norris, the mobster.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
That's really awesome.
I heard those stories all my life, so it's like, yeah, I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah, I see why. That makes all the sense in the world. So it's like I became a Bills fan because my dad was like, watch this guy kill John Elway, and it was Bruce Smith. Like I got turned on by defense. Like forget Kelly, the whole high octane, like the run and shoot offense, or not the run and shoot offense, the K gun. I love the Bills defense.
Well, when you're old school with the defense and stuff, it's tough when you see 315 points and you're third in the league. Like Pittsburgh was third in the league in defense, and they gave up 315 points.
It's like, what the hell, guys? Like, play defense, please.
Yeah, but you got to remember, every offense in the league is unreal. Anyone that's not. I mean, that's why the Jets were so bad. They had a terrible offense.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, yeah, and I'm curious to see what they do this year. I mean, even with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I'm not sold totally yet.
No, okay, 9 wins. Who cares? It's like 9 wins. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I don't hate the Packers the way people other do, because I think Jordan Love's terrible, but all those years of 2 quarterbacks, 3 kickers, and 3 running backs in the 30 years, all those years, 4 running backs, excuse me, all those years of that, I'm like, I would love the Bears to be like that. I'd love the Bears to have a Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, it's like me with the Patriots. It's the same way. It's like I respect the hell out of Belichick, what he did, or like with Brady. It's like it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, Belichick and Brady were, it was just a team. Belichick created a good system. Brady figured the thing out, I mean, people think that Belichick, he didn't win because of Brady. He's got Mac Jones, and he's winning. He won 9 games with Mac Jones.
Yeah,
he knows
how to build he built the world-class defense. Again.
Well, he was a defensive coordinator for Parcells.
Oh, trust me, I'm aware. Very, very aware.
But here's the thing. you're going to find people are going to find this out. It's a long term. I look long term. I look beyond the weeds. They're going to find out the hard way when the Bill Belichick gets himself another quarterback, and whether it's Bailey Zappi or if it's any of those others, anybody else that's out there. When he gets himself another quarterback and he's going to start winning regularly again. They're going to see Mac Jones go to somewhere like the Raiders or something and win absolutely no games.
I agree with that.
And they don't realize how much of a leash he is on and how much he was protected.
Oh, God, yeah. He was on a choke collar.
Yeah, when Mac Jones had that's the thing about Mac. He's not a playmaker. He's not going to make good. It's like he's not a good quarterback. And there was a leash, and he saw it, and he has to pull on it. Do you ever see Mac call an audible?
No.
No. Do you ever see Mac ever do anything out off the beaten path? I mean, we bring it up the whole Nagy thing. That's what Mitch would do. Is like when everything would completely collapse, he would just do his own play, which pissed Nagy off. But that's the thing. You never see Mac do that ever. He'll just fall for a sack.
Yeah, it's like I think one of the 8,000 reasons why I love Josh Allen, because you don't know what the hell he's gonna do.
Oh,
Like
you mean Josh? You mean yours? You mean Josh?
Yes, mine.
Allen? Yeah.
Allen. It's like, okay, cool. You just got everyone covered down the field. He's gonna run for 30 yards, and he's gonna run your ass over.
That's the thing. Is like Tebow was like this. See, people don't realize Tebow changed the game when he was in there.
Oh God, yeah. Like he's like amazing to me, like in so many different ways. Like he was the last. I call him the last, like what's it called? Smash mouth running back the NFL had.
Well, the thing about Tim Tebow, truthfully, needed to be. I mean, he needed to be born around a certain time where Mike Ditka could get him, because the thing is, Mike Ditka truly didn't care about the offense. He left his offense to a 75-year-old man named Ed Hughes, who was a quarterback in the 30s, or 68-year-old something, who was a quarterback in the 30s. He didn't care about the offense, not one lick. He didn't care about the offense. It was boring, and McMahon had to do everything. He would have loved to have a 250-pound guy that ran people over and just give it to Peyton.
Oh God, yeah.
He would have just loved it. That's just what it was. He would have just loved to. The only thing that Mike Ditka ever asked of the offense is don't screw it up and make our defense tired. He would have loved to have had a Tim Tebow and then leave the whole thing alone and let he and Walter Payton do something out there.
Yeah, it'd been like the Electric Company 2.0 to make a Bills reference.
Yeah,
just have 9 guys block for Walter or Tim and just destroy everyone.
Yeah,
and then don't screw up, like you said.
Look at the personality of Mike Ditka. You don't think he wouldn't have loved a 250-pound quarterback to run people over, especially when he had a 170-pound one he couldn't keep out of the hospital.
Yeah, especially after when he got body slammed in Green Bay. I remember that vividly.
I watched that game. That was It's like, see, when you're 8 years old, you don't think anything about it because. You don't think a thing about it because the Bears win. The Bears had Tom Zach throwing 38% and they win anyway. You don't think anything about it. You don't think anything. You don't think anything about Doug Flutie. They're going to win, and then they don't.
Yeah, it's but I think that the opposite for me post Super Bowl years for the Bills. It's like, oh wow, they actually won. Holy cow!
Yeah. By the way, what do you think of that Bills place? By the way, the new stadium.
No, I like it. I've seen the renderings. I'm seriously impressed.
Oh, well, it's good. There's a lot of real estate around it, isn't there? In the renderings.
Yeah, the renderings. It's gonna be a lot. It's like a hybrid between the two stadiums. It's gonna look like old War Memorial Stadium, and it's gonna be like. It's gonna look like Ralph Wilson, Highmark Stadium. And it's gonna be nice.
Well, see, like for instance, right now the Braves, they have the Battery here in Atlanta, and that's all real estate, and that's what Buffalo's going to be. It's going to have that old school thing, but there's going to be all that real estate around it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a community college right now. I mean, the crazy thing about Buffalo, if we're going to be, I don't know if you've ever been to a game in Buffalo, but
no,
it's like it's all housing around it. Like it's a residential area.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you literally drive up. It's like going to Green Bay in the sense it's like a stoplight, like 7-Eleven, couple houses, and then you this big ass stadium.
Oh, exactly. And it's like, see, everything about stadiums anyway is real estate. So they're probably going to
Absolutely.
build. They're probably going to build condos around that thing too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's all housing and real estate. So that's what things are. I mean, that's what the Battery is. The new Bear Stadium. The new Bear Stadium that's going to be either in Naperville or in Arlington Heights. That's going to be all dome and all real estate around it.
I'm floored the Bills team's on a full dome.
Huh?
I'm floored the Bills team's not all dome.
Would you want a dome or would you want outside?
I'd rather have a dome.
See, I'm with you because the whole idea of a dome to me is the fact that for my Bears, they are not going to go get any kind, especially in this era with all flash and all everything, the way the offenses are. They're not going to get one single free agent at all. They're not going to get a free agent at all that's going to beat out Miami or New Orleans or any of those places with a dome or a warm area. They're not going to beat Tampa or anything when they know it's 8 below in January.
Actually, the Buffalo's not a cold weather team.
Yeah, but those are the things. It's like it's not. I mean, they had called something called Bears weather. That Bears are like 500 in that weather in their life.
Like the Bills have been like absolutely awful when the weather turns to crap.
Oh yeah, and it's like, and you got to realize that's the way that offense built is not built for cold weather.
No, God, no. They don't have a power run game. They don't have a power run stopping defense. Why not build a dome?
Devin Singletary's not a power runner.
Well, he's no longer in Buffalo, so that's the good thing.
Hmm?
I think he's in Houston now.
No, I know what you're saying, but that's what I was talking about when we were in. I know that, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about when you had all these things and you had Devin, he's not a power runner.
He's not at all. I mean, he doesn't scare me at all. I mean, it's comical when I would see him in the huddle because my seats are so close. I can see I'm literally 6 rows from like back corner end zone when they're right by me. It's comical how short he is next to Josh. Like how little he is. It's like who?
Well, the Giants had Joe Morris in '86, and he was 5'7", and he was still getting yards.
Yeah, and that's how Devin is. He's like 5'7". He's like 185 pounds.
Oh yeah,
like
and well, take a look at Bryce Young right now. How little he is in that huddle over for Carolina.
Oh God, yeah, that's gonna be weird.
It'll be weird, but he's a smart quarterback. But the big thing is he needs to get to the gym.
I agree with that. Like Josh gets to the gym and like the facilities. I joke.
The gym goes to Josh.
The time, like
the gym goes to Josh.
Yeah. With that gym they got the Bills have. I mean, I've told players like I want to move in.
Yeah,
it's
do you work out?
I do. I work out like 6 days a week.
So you'd love to move in there and go and get to there. You'd probably love to go to their little bar and go get their smoothies and all that shit.
Well, maybe not the smoothie. I eat real food, but like I just work out a lot.
I know what you mean, but protein. You love to have the protein and just be able to pull on off and all that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, that facility is like they've got everything. It's like holy shit. Like I've seen it in person. Like just in person just myself. Like one of the former players asked me to join him one day. I'm like why would you leave here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It literally has everything.
Oh yeah, they're like, well, no, and that's the thing. It's like for myself, it's like I want to be able to get myself into the gym a lot more. I haven't had time because I got to work all the time, you know. But I got to do my stuff. But it's like by itself, I would love to be able to have you get yourself a gym and I'd be able to be around like a bar like you're bringing up and there's protein and there's anything that you want.
Yeah. And it's one of the things like I remember seeing those grades. I remember they just jogged my memory, but like the NFL grades and like some of those players they're charged for their food and all that. It's like their diet prep. Like I get they're millionaires or whatever, but still, it's like
no.
These guys,
they're not really millionaires because the taxes takes that. Taxes will take some of their money by itself. Plus the fact
especially in New York,
a lot of them spend every bit of their money before they get their next check.
That's very true too.
Yeah. So they're millionaire by paper, but they're not by. But right. But the biggest thing about it is the fact that that's cheap by Bidwell to be able to do that. It's kind of ridiculous to charge them to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like I said, like the facilities, like I said, like and like, it's why don't they just charge them to join the gym that they're part of? It's like I was like I mentioned the Bills gyms because I remember the old Bills gym. It was like a high school gym. It was awful, like
Hmm.
downright. I mean, I'm all about old school gyms, but this was just embarrassingly bad.
Well, it wasn't even a high school gym. I saw what you say. It's not even an old school gym. You know what an old school gym? It's that one that Cena used to show off. Hard
Yeah,
Knocks. That,
yeah.
that's
The one
what
he, I think,
that's an old school gym.
and he still works out there.
Yeah, Hard Knocks. Yeah, that's an old school gym. It's not a high school piece of crap gym. It's just lots of plates and lots of work and lots of sweat. That's a high school gym. I mean, that's an old school gym. The what you saw from that was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment. It's like you guys are like, you're one of 32 teams. You got $1 billion owner.
Mm-hmm.
Your team's worth billions of dollars. Why can't you give top line facilities to your players?
We'll give the Bears credit this during COVID, and you're talking to somebody who didn't mask up during COVID, so I'm not looking at things. You know what I'm saying? I ain't fearful of this thing, and I didn't get it either. So
Mhm.
it's like this was the thing. I mean, here's the thing during the deal. During COVID, the Bears had the absolute number one facilities of everything. They had the handprint stuff, the handprint thing to be able to get in. They watch. You could walk into a room and find out if you're COVID positive, all that kind of stuff. They paid they paid the top dollar for those facilities. Hallis Hall is like the number one facilities in the NFL.
I mean, for that first, like, it's good.
So what?
That's good. They did that.
Oh yeah, and see, but I'm saying they had to do something like that because they were kind of forced to in the first place. But they got the best facilities on it. And Hallis Hall is definitely the best facilities in the NFL for that. But they're obviously not. But that's the big thing. I mean, Kevin Warren now has to go get a new stadium, which the Soldier Field can't be there anymore. It should not be. It's the most boring stadium in the NFL.
What's that thing now?
Which one?
Soldier Field.
Soldier Field. Soldier Field is most boring in the NFL. Most boring
Listen,
stadium.
how old is it though? It's got to be.
Oh, 60 some odd years old.
Yeah, I mean, like, and people give like Buffalo flag for having a. I mean, Buffalo's right there. I mean, Buffalo's was built in '73, so it's 50 years old right now this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, well, see, the Bears used to play in Wrigley, and that was ridiculous because the goalpost used to be right next to the wall before the ivy showed up. So then, if you ran to the back of the end zone, you run into the wall.
Yeah,
So,
it's always mind-numbing watching the football. It's always mind-numbing watching dual-purpose stadiums when they're not designed to be dual-purpose.
oh no. See, you only get 40. You got to remember, 71,000 could go to Soldier Field. There only like 38,000 could go to Wrigley. So
Yeah,
it was a terrible football stadium.
that's a prime example. It's like I remember when I think the Rams moved to LA, they were playing in Dodger Stadium,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it's just like I mean, yeah, it holds 55,000 for baseball, but God, it's heavy. I can't imagine playing football there.
But the one thing I did love is the ones that were like Candlestick Park and everything. You love seeing that old dirt from the baseball stadium.
Oh yeah,
That was kind of fun.
and Janikowski loved kicking on it for the Raiders.
Oh, Janik, did that guy miss? I don't know if that guy missed before he was 35 years old. I don't know if he
I
ever
don't
missed.
think he really. I mean, other than those like free kicks, but yeah, no, other than that, no.
No, I mean maybe it's like I think of the one I saw him missing before he was 35 years old was like 65 yards or something. It was just this close. The guy just had
Yeah,
an unbelievable leg.
it's all the beer muscle.
Oh, absolutely. See, the thing is, the only thing keeping him from being the greatest kicker ever truly was two things: the injuries and Justin Tucker.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, because Janikowski was hitting everything before 35 years old.
Yeah, he made the game boring for kickoffs.
Oh, I know, because he'd kick it out of the end zone.
Yeah, every time he'd be hitting the field, he'd be hitting the stands.
Oh, I know. You want to know what he was? He was a John Daly of football.
Yeah, like 100% agree with that statement.
Yeah,
That's the
John
best way to
Daly,
describe him.
big fat guy that could have done what he wanted to if he hit the gym and didn't want to.
Yeah, he got arrested for how many bar fights? Like 20.
Oh yeah,
Jankowski.
and I was
He,
like, John Daly. He
I,
probably
I,
said,
I joked I remember when the Raiders drafted him, and it was like, I mean, if this is an Oakland, this is a Raiders pick if I've ever seen one.
Well, oh yeah, it's like, well, Janikowski. See, that's the big thing. It's like this is telling you how much older we are. Janikowski is in his 40s,
Yeah,
and it's
he's like 40. He's only like 43 or 44. He's like your age.
yeah, like that's telling you how much older because we grew up with him.
Yes, absolutely. It's always crazy to see that. It's surreal to see that when you see players like Peyton Manning. It's like yeah, it's like I was like in high school when he was starting college.
Well, it's so funny, and I'll tell you another thing. You don't watch basketball much, but I'll bring this up. Ben Wallace from Detroit. He now looks like one of those mean. Looks like one of those mean, intimidating professors that you see at like a HBCU. He's got the
God,
long gray beard with the big hair, and it's just
oh,
like
it's
he looks like he
awesome.
just smiles at you.
Yeah, I mean that's like one of the last times I watched was like when the Pistons beat beat the Lakers rather than finals, like in
Yeah,
'04.
but I'm just saying it's like that he just has that look now. It's like Ben Wallace, and it's like that's the. I'm just saying it's like, and then you look at him with gray beard and looking, and then it's like holy crap, and it's like we are all getting older.
Yes, especially when you see guys like we said like they are like between 40 and 45. We're like, holy crap.
Oh yeah. So how many people got watching our show so far?
I have no clue. Probably not many.
Well, it's just a nice little conversation. It's like, what did you? I was gonna say this. It's like, what did you say by itself? It's like, how many shows do you have on your network right now?
Not enough.
Uh,
Like
I am a part of. This is my seventh show. I'm part of. I have
that's
I have
awesome.
Basket Bros, Pundit Views. I make interviews. The Pundit's Pundit. That's my show. The let's see. I'm part of Scott Morganroth for Sports Exchange over on the South Florida Tribune, and then the Confidential. Then every once in a while, when called on, I do the Gauntlet, and then this is number seven.
It's- like I just do a show for the sake of doing a show too. I just like I love talking sports. And like we talked about in like our chat, like it was like I would love to do this for like a living if I could. Just do like
Oh, absolutely, and it's see, but I make a difference because, like I said, I don't go meathead like I was talking about with the stadium things. I was like, I like bringing up the business side of everything. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because I make enemies out of fans anyway.
yeah. I'd rather talk the business side of sports and
Yeah, I make enemies out of fans. I really do. It's like watching a game. If you watched a game with me at a bar, you'd be wondering if I cared because
I got
because
that. I've gotten that too.
huh?
I get that too when I go out to bars and watch a game.
I know, but you'd be wondering if I care. I'll be like this, and and it's like Bears score, yeah, and whatever, and then if they're mid touchdown, I'm like this, and it's like I'm thinking, but the thing is, people think I don't care. No, I'm not. One thing, I don't drink. I don't drink. That's a big thing. Second of all, I'm thinking about four chess moves ahead of what they should be doing to get to that. You know what I'm saying? And I can
Mhm.
and I can kind of tell if they're going to lose or win. Every once in a while you miss it, but you can kind of tell if the game's going your way or not.
Oh, absolutely. There's stuff and there's like feelings in the air. Absolutely. I always sense those.
Oh yeah, I predicted the you should have seen it. It's like during the double doink. I was at a bar.
Hmm.
I was at this bar. It's a Chicago bar called Bobby G's, and I'm over there. And Trubisky throws that really nice throw to down the sideline to get in field goal range. Then he goes for one more throw. That was an incomplete. He was going for the end zone, and a little bit incomplete. Nothing. It wasn't a bad throw. He just went for it. Then you go to Parkey, and you're watching. First thing, here's Collinsworth saying he says he has maybe 53 yards, maybe. And I'm like, if that's Robbie Gould, he could say he could kick it through a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a range. It doesn't matter where it is. And then I watched when they did the little kick before he froze him, the timeout.
Mhm.
And it was he hit it down the middle, but he didn't hit the back of the net. And I'm like, because you know how you hit the back of the net, that's not that far for a kicker, for an NFL kicker. You're supposed to hit the back of the net and make it right there. I'm like, I went up to one of our things. I said, I think he's going to miss this next one. I think he got because he didn't hit the back of that means it was barely over the pole if it didn't hit the back of the net. And I'm like, he doesn't have the range.
Yeah, and it gets in their head like, hey, I didn't, and they probably think that too.
Yeah,
That's why they freeze the kickers.
and see, here's the thing: when he was kicking, I was walking out the door. I was walking out the door. I didn't see the double doink. I heard bing, bong, and I was walking out the door. And the next sounds I was hearing were people throwing glasses down and breaking them.
I believe that.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like walking out the door. I did not see the double doink. I heard it because I knew he was going to miss. And
yeah, it's
I mean, that doesn't make me a bad. It doesn't make me a bad fan. It's realistic. It's like I don't live off of emotional nitwit.
yeah, like we've talked about dozens of times on our chats.
Yeah, I don't live off emotional nitwit. I live off of let's get realistic. I try to think like I'm a future business owner, like a future team owner. I talk to people all the time. I would love, like, I'll give you this example. I've talked to certain people, some friends, and I've said I would love the chance at trying to rebuild the Rockies. I think the Colorado Rockies are boring. I would love the idea of just completely cleaning that team out and having nothing but minor leaguers.
I would win more.
Well, even if you don't win more, you're getting hustlers, and you're going to see. But you got to realize something with Colorado. Look at Colorado for a second. I mean, if they are contenders, year round, that is a home run haven. You don't think you could go get a Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge if you're a contender? I mean, to place when they could boost their home run totals if they're contenders.
Jesus, I can't even imagine what they'd be like if they had those two guys. If you had home run contenders, like if you're a contender, God,
yeah, and that's easily. The thing. But you got to build a contender. You've got to build a contender and do that, and that's what I'm saying. I would love to have a chance. I would love to have a chance at building Colorado. My whole point of Colorado is I would love the idea of cleaning everything out. Get rid of Bryant. Get rid of them all. I mean, go get the biggest hustlers in the minor leagues and get a couple of mid-level to low-level veterans. You know, they can be Crash Davis.
Yeah, and you probably would, because you'd win. You'd be a contender, then you can go for the big fish.
Yeah, and it's like, and then they're hustlers, and you're going to probably win 60 games your first year, 55, 60. But you're building on something.
Yeah, and like that stadium. I mean, I would invest heavy in high-end pitching.
I mean, why? Maybe it's
not
like
in Colorado.
They keep getting high-end pitching, and the high-end pitching gets high-end home runs.
Yeah. So if there's why not pay the guy pitchers less and get hitters?
Yeah, go get guys that don't give up a lot of home runs and just get ground balls. That's all you really need. Don't get a lot of high-end pitching and just go get a lot of 10-9 games.
And you would probably win 75% of them.
I mean, there's right there. It's like, but those are the things I think about all the time in my head. It's like when you see a team that's 72 wins every single season, it's like you need to change something up.
Yeah, it's like watching my Bills, like in like the late parts of the draw was like they're consistent like 6-10, 7-9. It's like change the system.
Yeah. Well, with the Bears, and I know what you're saying with the Bears, the anger that I have, and I still do, it's not ever toward Fields, because Fields by himself, I just love watching him. I've not talked about it in the game because he has too much work to do. I'm talking about his desire, and it's like, and if he figures it out, he is a hero. But you've got to get an OC for that. But
he needs front office he needs a front office.
Yeah, but the biggest thing about it is I was mad because you had a quarterback that was doing his job, that wasn't making a whole lot of mistakes, and you had a good defense, and it is 53 players on a team. And and the thing is, in the end, you got to use it all. And it's like everybody's living off of fantasy football.
Yeah, it's not. It's like I said, I would rather have like a high powered defense, and like if you had a fairly good offense, You don't need a
Well,
high end elite.
you got Josh Allen. You got Josh
Yeah.
Allen. So good for you on that. I'm not sure if, and that's unfortunate to say this, I'm not sure if Fields makes it. But I mean, hopefully he does. But if he doesn't here in Chicago, he sure as hell will. And if he will with a real OC, you'll see.
Well, I agree with that. Like he should. Like I mean, like it floors me that Chicago can't do better.
Well, it's like the problem of it is it's when don't look through the weeds. They live off emotion. It's the same thing we're talking about LIV and PGA. They live off emotion and being emotional nitwits. It's you're not thinking, and when you don't think, you get blindsided by everything. No one saw him being 5-20 to start, but they keep making excuses.
Like I said, I loved it. What they did a lot in their defense. They finally to say, hey, we're gonna give him an offensive line so he doesn't die.
55, he got sacked 55 times last year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, then it's going to get you
Otherwise,
hurt.
it's gonna get you David Carr syndrome.
Well, yeah, and see, and David Carr wasn't even as good as Justin Fields can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I loved. Let's preface. I loved David Carr coming out in 02.
David Carr, an arm and a half.
Yeah, he was probably one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen play college football.
Yeah, but
if Houston had an offensive line with a damn, oh my
oh,
god.
well, yeah, and see, that's the thing. You get the syndrome. You got to remember, he got sacked 73 times in 1 year.
In like 65 the next year.
Yeah, and
he's
they
gonna see things.
It.
Yeah, like you said, it's like guys invest in your offensive line no matter what.
Oh, I like grind. You know, I mean, I like the trenches. That's what I did. That's what I'm very happy with Ryan Poles. All of his draft was the trenches. Every bit of
it's
it.
how you win games.
Hmm?
So it's how you win games.
Yeah, and see the Pittsburgh. We'll have to see if they've improved it for them. But now you got to deal with Matt Canada. So who do you see in the Super Bowl this year?
I think San Fran's gonna make a comeback because the trenches are big.
Yeah,
I'll go Chris Berman. I'm gonna be, and I don't care if I'm a homer. I'm going to San Fran Buffalo.
I like San Fran.
AFC is so hard to read because there's so many good players in it, like good quarterbacks.
Philly's going to be around again. I like them.
I think it's gonna be San Fran and Philly again in the NFC title game.
I like that. I like them. KC is going to be around as usual. The thing about it is the fact that I'm looking at the NFC North, and I'm like, I think it has a possibility of being Detroit and Chicago for running it for years.
I think Detroit's got a really good shot if those two guys pan out and they give the middle finger to everyone said they're not good enough or like they were drafted too soon, as in Gibbs and Jack Campbell. Yeah, like Detroit's gonna be.
Think about this. Think about this though. Of course, you're going to say they don't have a chance. They haven't won it. They haven't won a playoff game since 1957.
Well, they won one in '91. That's it.
That's true. They haven't won a title since 1957.
Yeah, they've won one playoff game in the Super Bowl era.
Yeah, I mean, of course they're going to say it. People aren't going to believe it. So you're going to, as much as anything else, it's like you got to prove it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But it's like look at the 1999, the 2000 Rams. Like no one saw that team coming at all.
It's more likely we're going to see a bunch of Rams teams like that. We're going to see that now. It's not. This isn't the 5-year plan anymore by itself. You can do that in baseball, like we were bringing up, but in football now you're going to get 3 and 14 teams winning it all.
Yeah, you play. Like you said, you got emotional nitwits who want it right now. It's like you have to do the 5-year plan.
Yeah, it's like. But I've been calling emotional nitwit for a decade. I come up with that one day in a shower. It's like it's what they are.
It's like it sucks. You got to win. Yeah, you want to. I love my team to win, but like if I can produce a team that wins consistently, and it takes 5 years to do, fine by me.
Well, I love Pittsburgh because they're always around. You're not going to win all the time. Sometimes you're going to have a 10-year drought of winning playoff games, but you're still there. I mean, when you're around, you have a chance to get high. When you're not around,
you like a team if you want a wild card team, I would say like Jacksonville. They're
Yeah.
doing a lot right.
And see, when I say emotional nitwits, and I'm glad you brought that up, when I say emotional nitwit, it's because when it's like I said this with that I predicted Trump right off the spot. And it's like, as part of it's because no one else did. And it's like, it's not because I'm doing it just to be a jerk. I was doing it because people wouldn't see it coming. Then when that night when he won, I was laying on a couch and I saw it on TV and I just kind of grinned and went to sleep because I knew it. And it's like, and then meanwhile, you wake up about 4 hours later and you're seeing on TikTok, and it's like, I die, I'm gonna die. And it's like, you got ambushed, idiot. You didn't see things coming. And this is what I say with sports fans. And because if you're a sports fan that acts like that, you're the ones going to get ambushed by life day after day if you're going to get ambushed by sports.
It's just if you see what you got like you got to play the long game in sports.
Well, that's why I would love to run a team, because the main thing is though, I'd be the absolute most hated owner in sports by my own fans. I just literally don't care about them. I want them. This is the thing. My theory of fans is simple. They will come to the park no matter what. They will come to the park no matter what if you're winning, even if you don't like me. That's all
Absolutely.
I give.
Absolutely. That's a great example. That's a great thing to say. It's true.
I mean, they will.
Even if you're not winning, they'll probably still come.
Well, they'll come less if you don't. But I'm like, if you start winning, they don't care. They don't care if you hate your owner and the owner hates you. They're going to come there because they want to see a winning team. And they're going to forget everything they say in the first place. And that's why I call it emotional nitwit, because you let yourself get, and that's the thing. I don't want owners and front offices listening to these people.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. I don't want them listening to fans. I want them getting the concessions and the beer ready for the fans. I want the fans yelling. Okay, if you're booing, that's your right. If you're coming up with your own ideas, that's what a fan does. They're drunk. If you're coming up with your own ideas, that's what you do in the stands. Good, you're doing it there. But don't listen to them on social media. Don't listen to any of this. Ignore the crap that they say and do your own thing.
Yeah. Like you got your plan. If you got your 5-year plan laid out, do it.
Yeah. And it's like, and they're going to, day one, they are going to say, fire me if I was, and it's like, I'm not going to care.
Not at all. It's like, I have a plan in place. This is what's going to happen. It's going to suck for 2 years, but you're going to realize like, hey, I was right.
Well, they're going to hate that that's the thing. It's like, there's a buddy of mine online that always says the people that aren't that smart don't like hearing when you're right because they like to be emotional. But this is also the same guy who does Roman and German and Greek history, like with the gods and everything like that. He puts it on Twitter all the time. So he's super smart and he's a lawyer.
Interesting.
So it's like, so these are the type of guys sometimes that I follow. You know what I mean? So it's like I like doing different things.
Yeah.
So by itself, what did you think of this first show?
I think it was not bad for our first show.
We just got to talk a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to talk. So you think you think we have some good chemistry?
I think we can work it with it. We'll get better.
Oh no, it's just we'll have to probably get some. I say we need to go to StreamYard eventually.
Yeah, I'll second that. Like,
huh?
I agree with that. I'm definitely gonna look into it more.
Yeah, and it's like we could do that, and it's a fun time tonight. This is the fun, and it's like, but we could pick a time, we could do all that stuff and get to the thing, and it's like, I personally didn't mind that it was just the first show and do everything because we just talked like we were fans.
Yeah. And we're just getting to know each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to talk anyway.
I've noticed.
You don't mind
it, though. No, not at all.
Yeah, that was the whole deal. So it's like, so you want to do this again?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm with you, man. Cool. I'm with you. This will be a fun little thing. Inscriber mag thing. we can get a little format, get everything. I think we have something there, and then we'll have Troy.
Yeah, and we got guest galore we can get.
Oh, we could. I mean, you could probably get some. I mean, do you know some guests we could get?
Yeah, I do.
That's good. So it's like I'm getting my own guests for my own show, and I'll bring you on Pundit Views, and we'll talk too. You know.
Yeah, so that'd be cool.
Yep. Well, you know something, guys. I think we've got our show for the night. You know, or what do we hit, an hour?
Yeah, we're 15. I'll take it.
Huh?
I was at hour 15, not bad at all.
Not bad at all. I'm Jacob Christner. Is it Scott? Scott Delafav?
Yeah, you actually got my name right. Good job. Like that, my name's so butchered all the time. You should. I can't even tell you how many times I've had my name
I
butchered.
was thinking Delafav, I mean, I knew it wasn't Delafave. I knew that.
It depends on who I'm talking to. I use Delafav and Delafave interchangeably.
Yeah, Delafav. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking if you were French, it's Delafava.
It's actually Sicilian, believe it or not. I get it all the time. I use my last name French.
Right. So it's either way. I'm Jacob Christner, the pundit's pundit, Scott Delafav, and you, Joe. I hope you enjoyed this night, and we have a good one.
See you guys.
Yep.
See you, Jake.
You betcha. Take care.